I'm going to show you how to actually use a PS5 controller, or it might be any other game controller you have laying around in Tracktion Waveform 13, the free version. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm looking at Tracktion Waveform 13 free version. Before you get started with doing any settings in here, there are two apps or programs that you're going to have to download. They are completely free. So what you're going to do is you're going to first download the program that's called DS4 Windows, all right? And you can do a search for it. Now, you don't have to necessarily download this particular software. There are multiple softwares, and what you're really doing is you're looking for something that can map this to the keyboard, basically. So we're gonna use this controller in order to record drums in Tracktion Waveform, but it's gonna be acting as if this is the keyboard using the Midi Typer. So that might be a mouthful, but I'll explain more, so stay with me. So I'm using this Windows DS4. I actually downloaded it for my gaming channel, Just to Vibe, because we just got a PS5 in Christmas, and I wanted to be able to play games on a PC using the PS5. And as simple as just plugging up a USB-C cable. My computer does not have a Bluetooth device, and so that's one of the things that I need to invest in. So, which they're very cheap. So you just need a USB-C cable, and then you're going to plug it into this, all right? Okay. And once you plug it in, now when I first plugged it in, it was showing up as being a device that was just audio-based. It was not allowing me to actually use the settings or anything on the controller inside the computer. It was only showing up as an audio device because it does have speakers and it does have a aux jack or an 1/8 inch jack at the bottom to plug in the headphones or microphone. So this is why I had to end up downloading this software. So on this software, when you download, you're going to press the download button. Now it does have a lot of pop-ups that come up. Just exit out of this stuff and be careful not to just click on the wrong thing. These are just paid advertisements that will actually help keep the app free. That's the reason why it's free in the first place, most likely. And so you have a download right here. So you click download. All right. And it should download right to your download folder. Then I'm going to go to my download folder. I'm going to look for DS4 Windows. All right. Now it does give you a message here, and I actually have a video about this, how to install this, on my gaming channel. So I probably could have just posted that. But it does say that before you open DS4 Windows, you need to install the required drivers. And the only driver that I actually installed, that I felt the need to install, was, if you click on it, it'll say the virtual gamepad emulation bus. Okay, that's required. And the Windows library frameworks. Microsoft Net.6. Okay, chances are, if you have Windows 10 or newer than that, you probably already have this. So you don't have to worry about this option. But if you have the virtual gamepad emulation bus, you don't have it, but you have to install that. So you'll click on that. Once again, it'll be something you have to download. And the download for that is right here. Then you'll press download for that. Okay, and I already have it installed, but yours will say to install it. Mine says to update or to remove it. Okay, and this is for the DualSense, just to make sure it has a function properly. And then once you install that, that is all you have to install for that part goes. The actual Windows DS4 is really just a .execute file. So once you download it, let's go to download. We got waveform up. Let's go to downloads. Gonna bring it over. DS4 Windows. All right. And in my downloads, you're gonna see the .application for it. All right. And then once you click on it, it should open up. Now you might have to extract it first if you have it. So you might have to extract it If you're not sure how to extract it, you just right click, extract all, and then you tell it where you want it to save. Now, when I did this a few weeks ago, I saved it to my B drive. So here it is right here, DS4 Windows. I click on it, and then you'll see it looks like a little controller. It's very colorful. All right, so I zoomed in a little bit so you can see a little better. DS4 Windows is right here. And once you click on the application, this is what it looks like. I'm going to zoom back out. All right, so it looks like this. And the way it works is you see it looks just like my PS5 controller. Whenever you click on here, excuse me, y'all, my voice is like shot. I lost my voice a few days ago and it's slowly coming back. So if you hear cracks or anything like that, I apologize. So when you click on the any of these keys, you can map them. Now it comes with its own what's called profiles. Okay, it has 2 profiles it comes with, so you can convert this to the PS5. So it looks like a PS5, but you can set it up where all the controls work with the actual PS5 controller, or you can set it up where it works with the Xbox 360 controller or Xbox controller. Okay. What I did was I mapped it to the buttons that I knew I was going to use in waveform. So if I click on this circle button, all right, it comes up with this map that's on the side. I had to drag it over so you can see it. All right. And then over here, you're going to notice that, so that button right now is not assigned to anything. Okay. I'm going to exit out of it. Now, if I click on the square button, you're going to notice that the square button is assigned to M. Well, the M button in Tracktion Waveform opens up the mixer. So that means whenever I press the square button, it's going to open up the mixer. So then I'll be good to go. Now down here showing the Xbox controller, I mean, that's perfectly fine. If I had it mapped to the if I had it mapped to the DualSense controller, which is what this is, then you would see a picture of that. Don't get caught up on the way it looks. Just all we're really working with is the keyboard shortcuts themselves, okay? Now, if you are finding value thus far, please give the video a like. It will definitely help spread to more people. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and do it. Just do it right now while you're thinking about it. All right, so this is DS4 Windows. So once you get everything mapped away, now if you're not sure how to really map it out, I'll make a separate video for that. But I want to really just give you a taste of it, and then I want to move on because I know I have some friends that they want get to the point, man, get to the point like now. All right, so let me move on. So that's all good. I minimize that. If you exit out of it, it might not work right. So okay, I still got it open down here. I'm sorry. I got to exit out of this part, and then I'm going to minimize this, and it does stay down in your taskbar. Okay, now. The second app that you have to download is, and once again, there's many different options for this. So if you type in something like gamepad as a MIDI controller, all right, and you will see, a bunch of options. Coscoby, that's one. Joystick, let's see. But the one that I end up downloading is called... It's called Loop MIDI. Loop MIDI, all right? Loop MIDI. There's a few of them. Most of them are free. Some are paid. This one is free, but it just says virtual loopback MIDI cable for Windows 7 up to Windows 10, 32, and 64. It might not work for Windows 11. I don't have Windows 11 on my computer yet. For some reason, it's been hard to update to it, but I'm not really tripping off update anyway, but I know Windows 10 is probably officially not receiving any upgrades. So, I mean, it's going to be obsolete soon. So I do need to upgrade soon, but hopefully this works for you. It was working for me. It worked as soon as I plugged it up. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to install this, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up in Tracktion Waveform. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, so here you click download loop MIDI. Once again, it downloads at the top. All right, it's a dot execute, right? Click on it. This is what it looks like. Click on it. It's going to say, now see, mine says repair it and uninstall because I just installed it. Yours will say install. It was very simple install. All right, you just follow directions like you install anything. And then once you do that, it's going to automatically, you know, give you that beep, you know, whatever. That look, I can't even sing right now. My voice is shot. But it's going to come up in your toolbar, your taskbar at the bottom. I'm going to exit out all of this. I'm going to bring back up Tracktion Waveform, all right? And I'm going to go to this beat from scratch. Now, you can create your own project. You should know how to do that by now. Hopefully you do. Now, at the top, you're going to go to settings, all right? I'm going real slow, so I just want to take my time with this. You're going to go down to where it says MIDI devices. All right. Click on MIDI devices. Now, when I did it, loop MIDI port automatically just popped up. It just enabled. I had the DAW open, and as soon as I installed it, it just popped up right away. And you will see it up here for the output, and you will see it up here for the input. Okay. So if you click on the input, you know, it just says active, MIDI channels, all channels enabled, allow notes, input monitoring. I have it on auto, action merge newly recorded MIDI into existing clips. You can choose whatever settings you want for that. I got the channel set on 1. Record MP to note expression. That's another option if you want to put that on. All right, I'm not going to worry about any of this right now. Quantize, I can set it up if I want to keep it, you know, quantized the same way. I'm not worried about that. So it was just that simple. Now, you probably don't believe that it's going to work, right? Okay, so let me show you that it will work. And now what I want to do is I want to go to the plus sign, or I can drag from up here, either way, but I'm going to go to the plus sign and I'm going to click, and I'm looking for waveform instruments, and then I'm going to use the micro drum sampler. All right. Now, because I have the pro version of this, you may not have all of these kits, but if you have the free version, you will definitely have at least 2 kits that are on here. And that is the 808 micro and the 909 micro. But I'm going to use the lo-fi kit because I actually like the way it sounds. Okay, I was playing with this a little earlier. Now that I have my sound set up, I'm going to press on my MIDI typing, and I'm going to open up this again. I'm going to slide this over here. Okay, so I've got the controller just so you can see it legit. All right, I hope you can see it good. All right, I'm going to hold it up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I have some of the keys programmed on here. And you'll know if you're getting a signal because when you press it, you'll hear a sound, but you might not hear a sound at first. So let me tell you what you have to do if you don't hear any sound. So originally, the Midi Typer is set to an octave higher. So it said actually set 2 octaves higher. And so when I press it now, you're going to see the signal. Oh, I'm hitting the key, but I don't hear no sound. And if I go, I've got record enabled. I'm not getting no sound. Nothing else is working. What the heck is going on? That's what you're probably asking yourself. All right. Press Z on your keyboard. All right. And make sure you click on the MIDI Typer first. Do that. Press Z to enable it. And then it'll go down to C3. And then press it again. It'll go down to C2. And now you can do it. Now, here's the next key is to make sure you have the cap locks on your keyboard. And what that does is whenever you minimize the MIDI Typer, so like say if you happen to click somewhere else and you don't see it anymore, maybe you exit out of it or something like that, and then you're like, man, I'm trying to record something, because it's kind of confusing the way it works. Like I used to try to record and then I would click out of it and then I have to bring it right back up as soon as you press record. So if you have it, you can have it closed down. It's a little fun. Now I have some of my other keys programmed too as well, and I'll tell you what those are in a moment. I should have a camera for a side view. Okay. All right, let me exit out of that. Now, we go about recording, and I got this set to 92 BPM. All right, you can adjust that down here. Just click on it and type it in. Track 1 is set to record, and I have my sound. So I'm not going to do any count in. Now, when you have this enabled, some of your keys are not going to work, like the W key, which normally takes you back to the beginning of the project. It doesn't work when you have this enabled. And what I mean is the virtual controller, or the MIDI Typer, as they call it in here. So I'm pressing W right now, which is my snare, right here too as well. But I'm trying to go back to the beginning of the project. So it's not going to work while you have cap locks on. Now, if you take cap locks off, then I can press W and it'll go back. Put cap locks on again, and now we're ready to record. Now, I have programmed my controller, and hopefully it works, because I've played around with this just like last night. So my O key, which is right here, all right, is my record button. So even though all my drums are working for what I have set up, whenever I press the O button for record, it does nothing. And this is when the cap locks is enabled. So what you need to do is uncheck the cap locks, and now I can press it and it will record. But I want to figure out a way where I can still use this button even when the cap locks are on. So I'm going to turn back on the cap locks. All right, I press cap locks, it's enabled. There, right here, I had never seen this before until now. There's a setting. If you click on this right here, then it gives you all of the letter names that could be assigned to the keys on the keyboard. Since you can only use the record button or the record shortcut when you have the cap locks off, I don't know if there's any other way to go about doing it. I was looking to see if there might be a reason why the letter R is cut off while the cap locks is on, but it just gives you no signal whatsoever. So, but it's still okay because you can still record two different ways. One, you could just literally go click it with the mouse, or what I'm going to do is first of all, I'm going to rewind to the front of my project, and I have my cursor keys or my arrow keys. I know that's really hard to see. I have these set to move, and I'll show you that a little better. I have these set to move the timeline. All right. I have it set. I can stretch it out. I can stretch it. Okay. That's left. That's right. So, and then I have this set to go back to the beginning of the project, which is the, I don't know exactly what button it is. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the tiny button is right here, right above the cursor. So I pretty much have all these like adjusted for something. I have the PlayStation button right here in the middle, which is set to save, and you'll see it says edit saved. So that's a cool way to kind of, use this controller. If you had a controller that had a lot more buttons on it, you can really hook that thing up. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press cap locks. All right. And it should be set. Okay. It's already set to record now. So I'm going to press the circle button, which is right here. All right. It's enabled. Then I'm going to press cap locks again. And now. Okay. Now that works perfectly. Great. Right. Only problem is What did I forget to do? Who can tell me in the comments? Yes, you're correct. I forgot to enable record on this track. And it might be the problem that you are having is when you think you've done all this amazing performance and you realize nothing's recorded, you might have forgot to enable record. So make sure you do that first. I have mine set up shortcut wise as Shift R. So I can press Shift R on my keyboard and then it'll enable it. Now it is enabled. Gonna press cap locks, press W, press R, press cap locks. Okay. All right. You get the idea. Press stop. Or I could have pressed the record button again and a circle, it would have stopped it. I'm going to press cap locks again. And I can exit out of this now because you need to be able to see what I'm doing. Exit out of that. Exit out of that. All right. I'm going to press the key, little small key. Let's go to W. I'm going to go back. And this keeps coming up, right? Oh, somehow I clicked on this twice. I did not mean to do that. 3 times, actually. Wow. I duplicated it. Okay. Here we go. Somehow duplicated it. Let's listen to it.
Any comments? Hey, man.
Okay. And what you'll notice too as well, when I press these keys, it also rewinds it or fast forwards it. Okay, so I wasn't trying to do that. Let's start from the beginning. I was trying to zoom in and zoom out. It's actually what I was trying to do.
If you want to get them back, Eggman.
All right, and you get the picture, and then I can press the square button to bring up the mixer. If I want to see it there, I can press the square button again, and I can press the X button. Now, okay, the X button is, I'll show you what the X button is set up for. Press the triangle button to play or stop, okay? Press small button, go all the way back. And then if I want to split, like I can move along, and let's say I'm gonna zoom in some so you can see. Okay, and say if I wanted to clip it, I can press the X button, all right? And you wanna make sure that you have it highlighted. So click at the top of the clip, and then you press the X. It's a little finicky the way it works. I was like, what is going on? Okay, you have to make sure that you keep selecting it and then press the X again. I think it works better just to do the slash, but you just want to make sure that it's enabled. I don't third lock. And then you can press the escape button, which I have set to the other tiny button, which is on the other side with the shapes. And that just allows you to uncheck what you have highlighted. And then if I wanted to drag this, then I could drag it. So let me know in the comments, will this help and will you use it if you do not have a keyboard controller? It takes a little time to set it up, but I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Please make sure you subscribe. Once again, give it a like, share it to someone if you want. We are reaching for 600 subscribers before the end of January. So thank you for your support. Take care.